On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick will kick off their two-part special in which they highlight some of the more forgettable characters from Star Wars. This week, they'll start with 18 of them from the prequels and OT, so stay tuned to find out which characters make the grade. If you need a little DCU in your life, they'll also riff on the new Superman movie from James Gunn after a round of Ask Them Anything. And of course, they'll end the show with Question of the Week responses and the latest round of Punch it, Chewie. Hey, now, booty, what's going on? Get a little Canadian up in the intro this week. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the SWTS, also known as Star Wars Time Show, because there's always time for Star Wars time, at least for those people that can still dig Star Wars and not hate themselves and hate people that like Star Wars. So welcome back. Good to see some of you in there. I'm always happy to see our man Bango in the live stream chat. Before we touch on his interesting news, I do want to announce YouTube now has fan leaderboards in live stream chats. I don't really, Nick, what does it look like from your perspective? Can you see the leaderboard and all that stuff? Okay,
I can. So I can see that there is 25 XP
per
for
chat, right?
League. Yeah, League has 25 XP.
League just
Bango
took number 2.
75. I have 25. Base and Brazen 25. Mando
great.
Pirate 25. So I think the XP works.
Base and Brazen. He's moving up the leaderboard.
Up the board.
He's paying for it. He's paying for a win.
275 XP.
Hot damn. Go.
For BMAD. That's how it works. It's a pay-to-play system. We didn't put it in. Google did. It's all YouTube's fault. We didn't do this.
This is awesome. Yeah, he's number one now. Based and Brazen, number one now. Back at the top of the Star Wars Time Show fan leaderboard. But in all seriousness, this is not a gimmick we started. This is just built into YouTube live streams now. So as a fan, have fun with it. Don't feel like you need to keep giving us money, although we would love that. But you do earn a little more XP for super chats versus just regular chats. But the goal here is to participate. Have some fun, check the leaderboards, keep on yapping so you stay in the top 3. All right. This is kind of fun. I do like gamification of life is a movement I can get behind. It's something that's popped up in academia, Nick, like gamifying your curriculum. I know they do it in K through 12, and even us adults. You might not think you're playing games, but pretty much any app you're using, your watch for physical stuff, it's all gamification. So we have jumped on the bandwagon, forced by YouTube, but it's kind of fun here. So, all right, Bango, I love feeling like a hoe, so lather me up, boy. Whoa, look at this. Bango coming in with the big super chat. It's my Friday, bitches. I will dance for you. Ready?
Oh, Bango. 1,075 XP.
There you go.
Look at that. Yeah.
All right. See, we can have fun with this type of stuff. You people got to watch out when Bango is off on a Wednesday night and he's having himself some wine. The cash starts to flow and the stories come pouring out. He's already let us know he had a standoff today. Not today, but this week. So, he's serving the streets of PA and ran into a little bit of a debacle with a driver that did not want to heed commands.
Oof.
So good on Bango. Love you, buddy. Good to have you back in the live stream chat, as well as our boy Mando Pirate, Based and Brazen. I think that's it. League popped in here for a little bit. Always good to see League. Yeah. And I know our boy Kramer dipped in just to say hi, but he's working. So, hey, who are these people? Come find out. Wednesday night, Star Wars Time Show live stream, 5:30 p. East, or as close as we can get. YouTube.com/Star Wars Time Show. It's always a party on Wednesday nights. Okay. All right. Welcome. Here we go. So today, let's just kind of run down. We'll do a little Ask Us Anything. We got some good questions to go through. Not all Star Wars related. In fact, I think they're mostly non-Star Wars related. That's what we like. I'll talk a little bit about the new Superman movie and what I thought about that, and if I've already seen it multiple times due to how good I perceived it. And then we'll get into part 1 of our 2-part special topic series, the most forgettable Star Wars characters of all time. So tonight, Nick, we're covering the pre-Disney era. So, you know, the prequels, maybe some Clone Wars in there before it was sold, and obviously the OT. And then next week, we'll pick it back up in part 2, dealing with the Disney era most forgettable. And yeah, I've seen some of your responses. I promise you, none of you are ready to take up the stage at a funny bone. All right. And here's the deal. Like, when we say forgettable, it's not like they're completely deleted from your mind. I get that. Those are useless characters. We're more talking about characters that might have been given like prime camera spot in a scene, or maybe even had prime dialogue and then just kind of faded away and you never really heard from them again. So that's more of the mantra we're going with for this 2-part series, but we'll get to part 1 here in a little bit. All right, here we go. I love it. I mean, look at them in the live stream chat, Nick. They're fighting for pole position. They're arguing who's back in the top 3, who's going to keep hold of number 1. This is good stuff, man. I love it. Way to go, YouTube. Way to go.
Make everything competitive.
Yeah, I do like this new feature, but the other one that went live yesterday, I guess we should discuss. I brought it up in the Discord. By the way, if you want to just chat with us in between shows, or at least myself, every time, you know, once in a while, Nick will create something in AI, he'll drop in. But we have an open Discord down in the description of this video. Hold on. Hold the presses.
League.
We've got another big-time super chat coming from League. Look at this. I don't even know how she did it, but she's got little dancing fucking. It looks like a ball sack. Love it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, League. We
love
are
you,
amazing,
League.
and so are you. And guess what, League? You're tied for first place now. In fact, you are first place. You're first place.
Oh, this is getting out of control. I love it. But anyways, the kind of the low blow move that YouTube did. So they gave us something fun here. But the negative that they introduced to our lives last week is a new policy where they're essentially going to demonetize, and I think at some point probably content strike channels that solely use AI to produce what they have termed AI slop. So what does that mean for our, literally, it's titled The AI Podcast with Scott and Sally. Well, that's probably the last you've heard of Scott and Sally, unfortunately. As nice as a tool Notebook LM was to do that for us. I mean, I'd literally just run a Wikipedia through it. They would have their little conversation. I'd run it through Final Cut to add some images and upload it. From the language I've read and the lawyering I've done with my AI companion, Nick, it just doesn't sound like we should play in that arena anymore. So here's what's gonna happen moving forward. I am going to take over AI Scott and Sally's bullshit, okay? I'm going to take over their bullshit. And my first video is going to be on Tulak Horde. I used my companion this week to generate a script, come up with some really cool images, and I'll be laying down the voices to stay in or stay out of YouTube jail. Now, I need to shut the fuck up because we just got another super chat coming from Based and Brazen for a big $20, $19.99. Oh, what a dude. Oh, you people are out of control this week. We love you.
Jockeying for position.
Speak your names. Keep fighting for those leaderboards. Gain that XP. All right, Nick, let's get into some questions. No, let's get into some Ask Us Anythings. We'll save the question and week responses for after our special segment here. I did not say 2 black whores. I would never say that, except you just got me to say it. So I did not say that.
Yeah, that might get us content striked right there. I did 2 black horde. If you are not familiar, go check out some of the some of the Star Wars Old Republic Wikipedia pages, or
That's
wait till Matt drops.
That's what he thought. All right, 2 lack horde equals 2 black. Okay, I get it. Yeah, apparently, Nick, I'm learning shit you've probably known about doing this, and I learn even more now that I actually have to involve my own brain in these Sith deep dives. But he was in Knights of the Old Republic, right? Sorta.
The original Knights of the Old Republic. You visited his tomb in the Valley of the Sith Lords on Korriban. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. You all are fantastic. Thank you for some laughs already. Okay, let's see what the fans wanted to ask us this week, Nick. You know it's always interesting. There's going to be a mix of Star Wars in there. There's going to be some just randomness as well. I think we got like a speed limit question this week, and a book question specifically for you because they all know I'm stupid. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get that screen up here. Goodbye, browser. Hello, Slack. Our first question, as promised, Rippick Tan, and yes, I saved your one from this week just in case we don't get enough next week. That's how we rock and roll here. But Rippick _ Tan is asking us, Nick, favorite disaster movies, and then the follow up would be, could this genre have a place in Star Wars? What could work? So, real quickly, off the top of your head, what is your top disaster movie?
Do we consider Jurassic Park a disaster movie? Like, I mean, shit goes disastrous for a very small amount of people.
I kind of took it as like the world ending, but I think you could massage it in there. Hey there, Genko. I don't know why you're not subscribed. We love you. A person, how's it going? So yeah, you want to go with Jurassic Park?
Yeah, if we're gonna say Jurassic Park counts, then I will say OG Jurassic Park for sure is my favorite disaster movie. And do I think that this genre could have a place in Star Wars? I mean, absolutely. Like, there's a lot of different ways that you could work in disaster type of storylines within Star Wars, especially when you're talking about, going back to the Old Republic and like the genocide that the Sith was meeting out on the world, or even if you like explored the really, really seedy dark parts of the Empire, you could probably do some disaster type of filmmaking there.
Yeah. So for me, I went just straight up end of the world type of shit, meteors coming or natural disasters. And one of the most ridiculous, but one of the most fun I have to mention is 2012. Like that is, do you remember, Nick, they jump like an RV over collapsing Earth. And so it's so bad. It's so good. You know what I mean? It's so bad. It's so good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
My film, I think, would be less fun. Like that type of disaster movie would be less fun in the Star Wars universe because it's like, all right, we had that with Alderaan, and it would be over in 1 second. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, Alderaan, hey, we're having a good day. Oh no, what's that moon in our horizon? Boom, movie's over. Roll the credits. So, I think Nick's idea of having some crazy ass alien species park being compromised and taking out visitors probably is more suited for Star Wars. All right, good question. Next one here. Coming from Bango. And this one, Nick, like I said, is for you because he knows that I am stupid. Basically meant for Nick, since I know Matt doesn't read, see? But are you familiar with Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive book series? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I am familiar with it. I am familiar with Stormlight Archive. I am familiar with Brandon Sanderson, especially his finishing off of the Wheel of Time series. But I have not read Stormlight Archive. But if I do get into it, I'll let you know, because that is one of the sets of Brandon Sanderson books that I do want to read. He's a very prolific writer. But yeah, that's one of them that I did you have on the list.
He wrote Wheel of Time, or he's a part of it?
Yeah. So the last 3 books in Wheel of Time, he wrote because Robert Jordan passed away before he finished it. And before he passed away, he let Brandon and, his estate know, like, I want you to finish it.
Okay.
Like, he was the named successor.
I was going to follow up with, is this like a blessed handoff in the fandom? Because, you know, sometimes like another creator will come in and fans are like, screw you. I mean, a prime example is right now. I mean, you still have Snyder bros out there basically going like, yeah, there can never be another Superman besides Henry Cavill. It's like, well, okay, we'll find out here. We'll find out.
Yeah, there's been many Supermen. Not all of them were Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
and there will be many more after Henry Cavill.
All right, well,
and
there you
probably
go.
more after David Cornsweat. So just be ready.
That guy, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I need to get him on this show. Like, I'm gonna talk about when I talk about Superman. But Nick, that guy is probably a better Star Wars time host than you and me. I mean, he's like me and you combined. Like, he's got the Legends knowledge and the canon stuff down pat. So much so, like, if you watch some of these interviews, his castmates make fun of him. They do like a pretend drink a shot every time David mentions something Star Wars during a Superman interview. So I'm a fan of this dude. Might be buying the action figure. All right.
There you go. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Big Dizzle Niz. That's our boy Based and Brazen. He's up next on the Ask Us Anything stage. Be the first Jedi to fight Darth Vader after his fall, or be the last Gorman to die in the massacre?
I mean, honestly, to me, it's not even close. I would want to be the first Jedi to fight Darth Vader after his fall, because this has been talked about in books. Like, the first Jedi to fight Darth Vader after the fall fucked him up bad, like almost killed him. Because he didn't know how to move around in his suit. He didn't know how to use his lightsaber.
Palpatine didn't even give him a lightsaber, Nick. He's like, go get one.
Yeah, like these Jedi that really fought him first kind of fucked him up pretty bad. So I would want to be the first Jedi. The last Gorman to die in the massacre, dude. Like, I definitely wouldn't want to be that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no glory in that. I mean, you've already lost everyone. You're on your own, and then you're just lights out. So I'm with Nick.
Yeah.
Even though you're probably not going to win, you would have your best chance against Darth Vader. All right.
Yeah, I think that's true.
No, Han did not shoot first, James W. I'm sorry. I mean, just go watch the original movie. And if he did shoot first, they could at least made it look better. I mean, now that he like shoots sideways, and it's just so bad.
Yeah. I mean, in the OOT, in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Han shot first.
Yeah, hell yeah, he shot first. Oh, I'm sorry, James. I got y'all backwards. Han did shoot first. My bad, James W. You are correct. We're all on the same page. I promise you.
Yes.
I do not like what they did in the special edition, especially the special Disney version with McClunky. I mean, come on, McClunky. Like,
that's the intended version from George.
What is that, McClunky?
George has a McClunky tattoo on his chest that we've never seen before.
Hey, look at that!
He really was in on that.
In the vertical chat, we got James W. and Genko battling for position. We still have the regulars in the normal chat working the leaderboard. All right, next question. EKU Rory, how fast do you drive over the speed limit on the highway for road trips? All right, I am a big fan of cruise control, automatic cruise control. Newer cars will even kind of keep you in your lane, like a lane assist feature. So I'll turn that shit on, and I'm usually going to set it. If speed limit's 70, I'm probably setting that 85 or a little more. If it's 60, 85 or a little more. If it's 50, 85 or a little more. I have a hard time driving slower than 80 on interstates and highways in general. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, usually if we're road tripping, 85 is the fastest I'll go. So same area as you. There are some roads in Texas where the speed limit is 85 though. So
then I would be doing 95 to 100 hands down.
So you could bump it up a little bit there. But yeah, I mean, standard I do 85 when I'm going through specific areas that I know are speed traps. Then I will stay close to the speed limit, because if you're driving along the interstate in Louisiana and you're coming through some of those like little small town areas, they're literally just set up to pull you over and give you a speeding ticket. So,
all right. Well,
yeah.
this is coming from I forget. Banger, are you State Highway Patrol or whatever? He monitors speed, and he just said, don't use him as a barometer, but he lets people do 85 and a 65. So that's like the new. I remember back when I first got my license, Nick was like, yeah, you can usually do about 10 over, and cops won't give a shit. If you're in Bango's jurisdiction, he said 25, 20 over, no problem. All right. So, yeah, anything under 90 is boring, and that's coming from a cop. So there you go. Do you use Waze, Nick, to kind of get the community alerts for police and shit on the road, or do you use radar, laser, any of that crap, or you just fly by the seat of your pants?
Just use Google Maps, but Google Maps now also has like the notifications for like police ahead and roadblock or something like that. So they've updated it to where they give you a little heads up as well. So sticking with the Google Maps on my side.
Hey there, P Tate 295. Welcome to the SWTS. Yeah, it looks like Smith is a Wazer. Although Waze, I think they make too many damn announcements sometimes. It's like, I just want to listen to my fucking music or Howard Stern. Quit interrupting it and muting it to tell me to turn 9,000 times in a row. I can see it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, next question, and ask us anything coming from our pal Baron's Black Series. Thoughts on WWE's Evolution Ladies Tore the House Down? Yeah, I finally got to check it out. I have to agree with Spencer. I think Evolution was probably the best primetime live event. I don't know what they call them anymore. We used to call them pay-per-views back in the day. But Nick, Evolution is all females. Okay, I guess it started in 2018. It's only female talent. And I would say, without doing any spoilers, the main event of this year's Evolution is probably the best main event I've watched since I got back into wrestling in January. Io, Rhea, the other people involved, it was fantastic. And for the first time in a while, I was actually surprised and did not see the outcome that happened. Okay, I know it's all pre-planned and wrestling's fake. I get it. But I feel like I can typically predict where storylines are going. I had no idea where that main event would end up, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So there you go. All right. I know Nick is not into WWE, so we'll move on to the next question. This one's coming from our boy Kramer. And Nick, you actually are going to have to take this one, and I'll take the next part. But he's asking first, Nick, what's the Great Schism? Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Well, because his questions aren't really related. So what's the Great Schism, real quick?
Yeah, so the Great Schism is the moment in history when the Jedi first fractured, and then that's when the Sith first came around. So like the dark Jedi versus the true Jedi split off, and then Ajunta Paul took the dark Jedi over to Korriban, and that's when
watch our video,
the first official Sith Lord. Yes,
that's right. Watch our video on Ajunta Paul. It's on the channel. Check it out. All right, then next, Nick, who are the Yuuzhan Vong, and what book series are they a part of?
Yeah, so the Yuuzhan Vong are a like race of aliens that invade the known Star Wars galaxy, and this battle happens. I mean, what is it, like 30? Like it's like 30-ish years after the Battle of Yavin, so it is post ROTJ, blah blah blah. And the trilogy that it's set in is called the Dark Nest trilogy. Fantastic trilogy if you haven't read it, even though it's Legends now. So definitely go and check that out. That you get some good Jason and Jaina Solo stuff there, and obviously some really good battles. And that in that trilogy is where Chewbacca dies in
I said this is Troy Denning, huh? Troy Denning did all these, Nick. Dark Nest, it looks like author. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, there you go. Hey, look, I mean, we're full of answers, even if you don't like them. So, and the last one, and finally, since Scott and Sally unfortunately got taken down, they're not getting taken down. We just can't really use them anymore. But to answer your question, Kramer, I mentioned earlier when you were not here, I will be taking over the reins. They're going to be much slower in terms of when they come out, but you're going to hear these sultry, shitty tones instead of Scott and Sally now. And my first one is going to be Tulak Horde. Okay.
There you go.
He is what is he, like the Lord of Anger or something like that. Like he's got multiple titles, but I'll be ripping that one off myself. And my AI companion kind of worked through the script and some imagery this week, so we busting that out. I'm also working on a real long form one that's Nick. I've probably been stewing on it for almost a year, but it's called The True Power of the Force, and it's going to be a long breakdown. It just takes me time to collect some of the assets and all the other shit that this show requires. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Next question. Nova. Since David Cornsweet is such a massive Star Wars fan, which upcoming Star Wars movie should he be cast in, and as what potential role character type? I know the answer, but I want to hear Nick first.
So what could he be in? I mean, I feel like David Cornsweet should probably be
Red Dog.
I don't know. Like, I would like to see him in Old Republic as like a big Jedi Knight, like a big
good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, I think he would be good in a type of role like
he
that.
He could play Luke, to be honest.
No, I don't think he could play Luke.
Oh man, I love when people just throw out stupid humor. I hope that's stupid humor. Stupid humor. I'm not kidding. Like, stupid humor is my favorite type of humor. Like, just not. It doesn't have to be vulgar. Just like ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
An example.
So I would say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say like that, or he could play like a Jack Sith. He might even be able to play like a Darth Malgus type of character. Obviously, you'd have to like do some makeup to his face and stuff, but he's jacked enough to where he could definitely play like a Darth Malgus type character in the Old Republic.
I would love to see David Cornsweet show up dressed as Farm Boy Luke with his Superman bulk, like his black curly hair. I mean, I'd be like, I'm Luke. He'd be like, okay, we got you, bro. Okay, Nick really isn't too far off because, like I said, if you listen to this guy in interviews, he has a hard-on to play a Jedi Knight. Like, that is his goal. In fact, Nick, someone asked him, it was kind of like an F, marry, kill, but they're like, hey, you could either be Superman or get a sequel and be Superman again, or star as a Jedi in a Star Wars movie. And a little bit of hesitation, he's like, yeah, I'm going for the Jedi. Fuck Superman. So, and this is on a Superman promo tour, so this guy is hardcore. So I would actually say, I think Old Republic playing like a Regal Knight, or even he could play Malgus. Dude's 6'4", 240, 250, so sure. But let's try to look forward to a movie that we actually think is going to get made. And I think Starfighter, okay? Put him in Starfighter as like some sequel era Jedi. Let's create a new Jedi, yeah. the new order, the new look of the Jedi. All right, they shouldn't be so black and white in that era because of what Rey did. So I would kind of like to see him take on the role of a new era Jedi Knight in the Starfighter series. So not super disciplined and regal, but like a little more chill, and probably could hang out with Ryan Gosling's character and not be annoyed 24/7. Okay. Yeah, Luke has dark hair now. Okay. All right. Here's your boy Phil, and I'm going to kind of clarify this for him because I'm stupid, he's smart, and this really confused me. But I'm pretty sure he's not talking about Star Wars because there is no such thing as a standalone Star Wars movie. Am I correct, Nick? Like, they're all connected somehow. There really is not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like really the closest standalone. No prequel, sequels, or spin-off. I think that this isn't related to Star Wars.
That's what I mean. So
yeah.
What is your, like, a movie you've seen, it's only its thing. There's nothing before it to explain it. There's nothing after it to expand upon it.
Damn, that's so
tough.
Little content now, right? Because everything has been spun or
I got one, and I don't know if it's the overall best, but it's the one I could remember. So I'll let you think a little bit since I kind of cheated here. Again, okay. I know I'm gonna miss one, because when I was a little kid, it wasn't just mass producing sequels left and right. You actually got new IP. Yeah. But I'm gonna say fairly recent, within 10 years, Interstellar. There.
That's a good one,
and that's for you, Phil.
Really
that's space shit, time, like time travel. That's you could probably explain that movie to us and explain how all those things they didn't actually is real and could be proved by math. So I'm going Interstellar. Oh, Life
Nice.
of Pi. That's a good one, based in Brazen. I haven't watched that in a while, but that was a good flick. Life of Pi.
Wow, this is really hard
Yeah.
because like I have in Interstellar is actually such a good answer. If I was gonna go, like I would go like way back and shoot. Okay, I'll just pick like a random one that Taylor and I watch all the time, and it's just a comedy movie that people may not have seen. It's called Rat Race. If you've never seen Rat Race, Rat Race is the most ridiculous, funny ensemble cast that like came out in the early 2000s. It's got Seth
I was
Green,
gonna say, I know
John
Green's in it.
Lovitz, Whoopi
Ooh,
Goldberg.
Inception's a good one, Bango.
Like like that kind of stuff is like I've seen Interstellar once, but like it's a long ass movie, and it's like it's really hard to watch those like super long ass movies just as like I'm just gonna watch something to watch it. Superbad's another good one. Like any of those like early 2000s comedies, I think that like those are really good answers.
Galaxy
But
Quest. That's a good one. I mean, I know
Galaxy
you're
Quest
laughing,
again.
Red Dog, but that's a fun movie. All right, we got some good ones in there. So, some of the fans, for those who just listened to the podcast, we had a Life of Pi mention, an Inception mention, Superbad. We have some agreement on Nick's Rat Race, Galaxy Quest, Spaceballs. Although League, that one's just been canceled from this competition because it is getting a sequel.
It's getting a sequel.
All right, good stuff there. Everyone playing around. All right, that's it for Ask Us Anything. Nice and quick. Good questions this week. Thank you, fans. If you want to get involved in the Ask Us Anything, which always kicks off the show after a little bit of BS, make sure to check out our socials on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Discord. We're all over the place. People just don't know, so you got to look really, really hard, okay? All right, so let's switch things up. We got a little pop culture talk to get into. Not much, but a little. You've heard us talking about the star over and over, David Corn Sweat. That's how you say his name, Kramer, by the way, Corn Sweat. Who I did not know was like kind of the dorky tech white guy in Twisters. That was like before he put on 40 or 50 pounds of bulk. But he is in Twisters. That's where he learned he got the role. But anyways, the new Superman is here from James Gunn. I've seen it twice, if that says anything about it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I found it to be a completely different live-action take on Superman than we've probably ever gotten. I think the best way I could describe it, Nick, is it's... I don't know if you've ever watched any of the DC animated movies of the early aughts or like the 2010s.
I think I saw Flashpoint.
Yeah,
that
okay.
might have been one of the only ones I've seen.
You understand that those were actually pretty fucking good. I mean, yeah, they were animated, but they're pretty well done. They honored the tone of comics. They felt like living comic books. That's where we're at with this Superman. It is 100% a comic book brought to life. Superman is goofy. He's real. He feels like a human. I mean, he jokes around. He screws around. He's got... I mean, he talks about how he makes mistakes. I mean, he's just very relatable. He's not this gruff, I'm just going to sit here, tough guy. He's very comic book Superman, like kind of slapsticky. And I really appreciate it. And I think David pulled off this version of Superman expertly. I would argue his take on Clark Kent is even better. I mean, him and Clark together, him and Lois together, it's damn good. It surprised me. I went in with low expectations. I'll be the first one to tell you the trailers really didn't move me, even though they used a little bit of the John Williams motif to try to like capitalize on some nostalgia. It was nothing like, oh my God, I got to go see this. I mean, of course I was going to go see it on opening day, but it was nothing like, if I don't see this, my life is over. But after coming out of my first screen, I was like, you know what? That was really freaking good. The cast was great. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, probably one of the best takes on Lex I've seen. Very comic booky. The villains were good. The other good guys, I mean, the Justice Gang. Guy Gardner, played by what's his name? I can't believe I forgot.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. I mean, just Mr. Terrific might be the breakout character of the film. I mean, just the music, James Gunn always really focuses on the soundtrack for his movies. He actually just made an old Iggy Pop song famous again. I think it's had like 200,000 downloads since last week. Punk rocker.
Nice.
because that's kind of the tone. I mean, Superman's punk rock, and his version of punk rock is being kind to people. So the other thing you should kind of take from this, don't listen to all that stuff out there on the right about wokeness, this and that. Like those people are broken. Like, Superman's always been woke, if you will. That is the character. I mean, he's a freaking immigrant. He is an illegal alien to the definition, and all he's trying to do is be the best human he can be and help other humans out. So if that stuff offends you, I don't know, maybe rethink the type of media you consume, because being nice to people is okay, and it doesn't make you a pussy. It makes you a tough guy. So I think the new Superman is excellent. I would give it probably an 8 to a 9 out of 10. I've already seen it twice. I've seen it in IMAX and Dolby Atmos. And I'll tell you what, if there's a slow movie week with all the free movies I get now, I probably would go check it out again. So I know I'm not going to convince young Nick, because he hates Superman's guts. He's well documented on this show saying Superman is the worst superhero ever created because he's too OP. But I really think James Gunn and team did a great job. No backstory bullshit. We're right into the universe. Superman's backstory is explained in 30 minutes, Nick, so you don't have to retread all those tropes. We're right into it. It's kind of a fresh story. I know some people are saying it's mimicking real life. Whatever you want to say, Superman is well worth a trip to the theater.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I might catch it when it hits a streaming service in our little media room. But I did go see Jurassic World Rebirth.
Okay, let's get it,
dude.
Loved it.
I just like dinosaurs on screen. Like that's all it is. Like I thought the movie was super fun. It reminded me a lot of Jurassic Park 3, which if you didn't like Jurassic Park 3, I get it. Like, but it felt a lot like Jurassic Park 3. I didn't feel
you like the kaiju at the end.
I mean, I knew that was in it from like the trailers and previews and stuff, and like I had been watching the animated Jurassic World series on Netflix, so I knew that they were already kind of like exploring the mutation and like genetic hybrid route with the show.
I just think it looked dumb in the end. Like it had like a big bulbous head, and it's like,
yeah.
We can do better than that.
Dumb? Yeah, definitely looked dumb. But like I get like, you know, what they're trying to go for is like, this is what they said in the beginning. Like the stuff that's here is the fucked up stuff. Like the stuff that was so bad they couldn't even show it to people.
All right. So my question, I will agree with you. Some of the dinosaur stuff was good. I said that last week. Do you not agree with me a little bit that family showing up halfway into the movie just kind of derails any character development with ScarJo's group, the main group of the movie?
No, because they came in. I timed it because
45 minutes
talking about it.
45.
It was 30. They came in 33 minutes into the movie.
Bullshit.
And it was 33 minutes to the T. It was 33 minutes.
Name one of the characters. Name one character name.
Oh, it was like. What was I can't remember. Actually, I don't remember any of Scarlett Johansson or any of their character names either. But
because they all suck.
That's not why I'm there. And I'll tell you the thing that I really liked about the movie, more than most of the recent ones, and even like Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 2 in particular, it brings the tension and survival aspect back to Jurassic Park. Like the last two Jurassic World movies, Fallen Kingdom and Rebirth, it completely moved away from like the human survival aspect of it, which was always the most like tension rising and the most interesting part of it. And that's what this movie was to a T. It's like, these people are not supposed to be here. They don't know what they're fucking with. And when they get like that movie bleeds tension for most of it.
Right.
Like, are there scenes where it goes down a little bit? Yeah. But I think that for the most part, like it's scary. Like people are frightened. You think that they're going to die for a lot of this movie. And there are characters that get killed. Like obviously the big mains don't, but like, you know, you have characters that are in Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson's crew that get off, and like I think that that's what I liked about it the most, was that it kept that tension and that survival aspect to it, and I think that's where the Jurassic movies thrive.
Now everyone can see why Nick and I just stick to Star Wars, because on pretty much everything else we are not aligned. So, hey, but that's humanity. And look, we can still get along and not call each other's name. Isn't that awesome?
Indeed.
Yeah, based and brazen saying, I saw people say Jurassic World is 10 out of 10 because they don't have to see Chris Pratt do his whistle hand motion with the raptors. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That's okay. If Boba's vet is still in here, I will give you some negatives. I'm sorry. I did just kind of fawn over Superman, which is disingenuous. And I might get killed from this, from you dog lovers out there. Crypto is fun, but I feel the gag is overused a bit, although some people consider him the star of the show, because it is based on Gunn's Ozu, who I guess was raised in a fucked up like 60 dog type of yard, and he's got lots of issues. But I would say Crypto, for me personally, I don't hate dogs. I just would never want one, because I'd rather just have a kid, because I know eventually the kid's going to move on, where the dog I have to take care of until it dies. But it's to me, Crypto's overused, but I think it works for a lot more people. So that's a negative I'll give you. And I don't really consider it a negative, because I don't think Gunn wants to do this, but the end credit scenes do nothing to set up future films, what I think is probably a good idea, as we've seen how that's kind of failed in the MCU, especially with the phase 4, 5, and 6, where nothing has really materialized from those stingers. I get it, base, like Crypto definitely. I'll tell you what, Nick, I have not been in an audience as full as Superman had. I mean, I think it did well. I mean, obviously, it didn't do as good as Man of Steel, and I know people are like, see, it's like, dude, that was in 2012. We're in 2020. Yeah, I mean, the movie theater business is entirely different. So the fact that it made like 120 or something domestically, that's a win. You know what I mean? That is a win. So kudos to the team out there. All right. I think that's that for Pop Culture Talk. Thanks, Nick, for sharing your opinion on the new Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm sure it'll be trying to battle Superman for top spot. Will they hold off Smurfs or the sequel
Dude,
to I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Dude, the Lilo and Stitch movie is going to be the highest grossing movie of this year, which is fucking wild, because it's almost made $1 billion.
I did see that, Nick. I just forgot to talk about it on the show, and it's pretty fucking good. It's pretty good.
No, like when I saw the previews, I was like, this looks like it will be fun. Like,
it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I mean, it like a lot of the Disney remakes, the live action remakes, I mean, it faithfully honors what happens in the film, but I don't know. I definitely laughed, and you get some feels going in that one. So I could see why that is. All right, we got a question
995 million worldwide, so it'll cross $1 billion.
Damn, and the people saying Disney broken. All right, Boba's Vet, I'll give you one more, and then we're getting into our topic. If Django never shot Zam Wessel with a Kaminoan dart in AOTC, then the clones would have never been found by the Jedi, right? Would this have changed the war, you think? No, Palpatine was still going to get the war popped off. I mean, you got to remember, he'd been planning that 10 years earlier when he had Dooku and kind of letting Sifo Dyas go off and order all that type of stuff. It probably...
It would have delayed the Jedi finding out about the plot.
Correct. Yeah. I think it would have kicked off with an actual assault by the CIS versus the battle arena where they had the Jedi kind of cornered, and the Jedi were the one trying to squash things. I think it would have been more of a surprise attack from the CIS on Republic worlds if that never happened. Still a good question. All right, we got a sub.
And
there,
I also
Boba's
like
Vet.
The name.
Appreciate it.
Like, Boba's Vet subbing. Yeah, because it's
does Boba's Vet have a vet? That's the question. And if you do, what year is the vet?
Look up the MC Chris song. MC Chris did a song called Fet's Vet or something like that. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Boba's Vet. All right. That's a good vanity plate if Boba's Vet has a vet. All right. So as promised, we've got part one of our latest special topic. I know some of these special topics have not been resonating with you all, but hey, we got to do what we got to do because Disney basically gave up on releasing new content We'll be getting Visions in October, but that's going to be a one-show deal. So we got to keep, rubbing our bellies, tapping our heads, jumping on one foot to come up with some stuff. All right. There you go, Nick. They're saying they got the name from that song. So look at you making connections. But anyways, we're here to do part 1 of forgettable Star Wars characters, and we're covering the pre-Disney era. So think prequels, the OT, a little bit of the Clone Wars maybe. And like I said earlier, if we weren't tuned in, it's not so much these are characters that were so tucked away in off screen or just in the background that you don't even know their names. More so, these are characters that had like a scene maybe by themselves or even some dialogue that pushed along the plot, but then nothing happens. You don't really hear about them anymore. You don't see them anymore, and they just kind of fizzled away and disappeared. So that's what we're going with when we get to this type of forgettable Star Wars characters. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and kick this thing off. Like I said, we're doing pre-Disney, so all of Lucas's stuff. So not only are we going to chastise Lucas and some of his forgettable characters, but we'll be going after Disney as well. All right, everyone? We like to spread the hate across. KOTOR has better story than original Star Wars.
The time period, this is what I've always said. The time period of KOTOR is so cool because there's a lot more Sith versus Jedi. Yeah.
Like it's a hard thing to argue with, Shroom. By the way, I love your name. Okay, we support Fungus over here, but that could be put up for debate. All right, I'm not going to squash it right away. But here we go. Let's get into it. Who is our first forgettable character, Nick? I'll kind of do the intro. You put your little piece on it, and we'll move on. We'll try to keep this quick because poor young Nick. This guy got himself wrapped up in some church shit that I feel horrible for him. He's got to do it. He's got
hour and a half long seminar for Godfather. Would be my brother's, my niece's godfather. She is not born yet. She's
okay. So they do know the sex. Is this their first, Nick?
First child, yes, first child.
And
first
you're the oldest, right?
You're the oldest. I am the oldest.
And then you would just have one brother.
Years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, he got busy. He's spitting out a kid, but poor Nick now has to go commit like 2 hours to some church call about it. It's like, dude.
Yes, I do.
Dude. All right, here we go. So let me kick this off. Who is our first character? We're in the O trilogy here, the original trilogy. There he is, our boy Dak Router. All right, what do we have to say about that?
Yeah.
Well, we got. Here we go. Luke Skywalker's doomed gunner in The Empire Strikes Back. Dak barely got out of line about feeling like he could take on the whole Empire before getting blown to pieces. He's the poster child for expendable rebel crewmen, despite technically being in one of the saga's most iconic battles. So, Nick, Dak, he's Luke's wingman. He's getting ready to prepare the tow cable. He's ready to take down the Empire, and then zap, he's toast. Just like that. So I do think Dak fits this list pretty well.
He does. And the thing I will say is when I was going through putting together the images for this, I was like, I didn't forget about any of these people, but that's also because we're psychopaths.
Yeah, again,
we just remember this kind of stuff.
Yeah, listen, we're fanboys, okay? So
Dak's a hero, man. Dak's a hero. Like, this guy went out fighting. He was ready with the tow cable. He was there ready to take out this AT-AT, and then what happens? He gets taken out by fire. This guy would have been at another medal ceremony if he would have survived. They would have done another medal ceremony. He would have been on the stage with Luke. And
except he ends up in that meme from Starship Troopers where like, I did my job, I did my part, and then Dak would come on, I didn't do jack shit.
That's right.
So Dak, rest in peace, bro, but you drew the short straw. You were sitting in the wrong seat during the Battle of Hoth. I just saw Nick show off his Dubby shaker, so just want to remind everyone, if you want to try it out, hit up dubby.gg, use code SWTS at checkout to get a little discount, and you might be helping out your boys on the SWTS.
That's right. Get yourself some jitterless energy, and it tastes good too. They got new Japanese yuzu flavor out, so if you like lemon, like very fresh type of flavor, try that one out.
I do love some lemon, man. Just even some lemon water. I think I talked about this, but I've become like a seltzer water junkie, which kind of saddens me. Because while it's good for you, carbonation still has acid, so it'll eat away your teeth just like regular pop. And it adds more cost to the family bill. But damn, man, this lime ginger from Nixie is like crack. You know, for people that don't want to drink sugar pop all the time at all, seltzer's the way to go. All right, here we go. Bubbly, yeah, bang goes into the bubbly. I've become a fan of seltzer. I guess it's just a sign of my old age and me liking to stare at clouds and scream at them. All right, so who is next on our list? Let's see. Let's bring it up. Oh, it's our boy Yin Yam. Yin Yam. Lando's chuckling co-pilot in ROTJ. He may have flown the Falcon during the second Death Star run, but most fans can't even remember what his name is, okay? If they even noticed he died in The Rise of Skywalker, it would be a miracle. His strange Soliton voice and minimal dialogue left him more of a trivia answer than a real character. I mean, it's right. I mean, in the first movie, he's basically like a vagina face, and when he talks, he's like so, and he does die in The Rise of Skywalker, but nothing's made of it, kind of like someone that might show up on our list next week. So what do you think about Nien Nun?
I mean, he was an essential part to the Falcon crew. Like, how can you forget Nien Nunb? How can you forget his voice? How much he contributed to the cause of taking down the first Death Star? Like, this guy is a key component to the Rebel assault. You cannot forget about Nien Nunb. All right, you got to remember Nien Nunb. Always remember Nien Nunb.
Except when you don't. So I think kind of like Dak, Nick would be correct in saying, unless you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you're probably just going to call this guy like Lip Face, or that guy that went like to Lando when he knocked off the satellite dish of the Falcon. All right, Nick, we got Sonax122 in here asking, maybe you'll know this. Do you know who Nomi Sunrider is? Nomi Sunrider. Check that out, Sonax. We're kind of dumb on some stuff.
We have an internet machine here that we're working off of, so I can look at Force sensitive human female who served as a Jedi Master and later Grand Master of the Jedi Order in the days of the Galactic Republic. So she is likely around during the New Jedi Order. No. This is old school.
Yeah, this is like old school Galactic Republic.
I'm going
to say
here. No, this is later. This is, I mean, I'm not super familiar with her now, but fighting with Exar Kun or against Exar Kun puts her, so this is some
so
like later stuff.
We failed you on that one, but we're just gonna answer it for you. No, she's not gonna.
This is like a super
live action,
super
canon.
deep cut.
I'm sorry, canon, no way. All right, next figure. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're an old guy, people like Dak or Yin Yum, they're going to stand out. I mean, Yin Yum had a great Kenner figure, like Red Dog is saying. Sonax, you're probably right, but as we've seen, and I'm not here to listen, I'm not one of these people just shits on Disney Star Wars, but I think it's pretty evident now that kind of like George Lucas, Disney has zero interest in characters that they're not creating. So I think we just got to recognize that and keep our fingers crossed. All right, our next character on this list of forgettable characters from the pre-Disney Star Wars era. No, say it ain't so. Not Lobot. I mean, he's Lando's bald cybernetic assistant who says nothing and does even less in Empire Strikes Back, Nick. While he has a cult following some great comic arcs, most fans just remember him as that guy with Wi-Fi on his head. So, I mean, listen, that's a pretty apt description of Lobot. I mean, unless you've read some of the recent comic runs where he kind of becomes a main character with Lando and some weird shit happens, he literally just is just acts through facial emotions and waking up when his transmitter kicks on. So Lobot looks cool. Lando's number 2 is best bud, but I mean he's pretty forgettable in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think that most people will probably remember him now as like if you're into the animated wing of Star Wars. Like this was the inspiration for essentially what happened to Echo after he's captured by the Techno Union and hooked up to the, all the machinery that they were doing to like break through the Republic battle plans and stuff like
technically,
that.
Echo did it first, right?
Came before
Echo
him,
made this look cool.
Yeah, like Echo is technically in all ways chronologically he comes before Lobot, but obviously we know that Lobot was
Lobot used to scare me as a kid. I like that.
Echo stuff. So
there you go. Yeah, I mean he looks kind of creepy, but in terms of his movie role, Lobot pretty forgettable. Yeah, honestly, big boy, I think it's Glup Shido, not Gulp Shido, but yeah, Glup Shido is probably one of my most favorite characters of all time. If people don't know Glup Shido, look it up. It's kind of like an internet theme meme. I forget where it comes from, but like someone's like, "Oh yeah, Glup Shido is my favorite character in Star Wars," and there we go. We had a movement on the net. All right, moving right along. We're going through talking about forgettable characters from the pre-Disney era of Star Wars. We've discussed Dak Ralter, Nien Nunb, Lobot, and up next, honestly, is probably someone you didn't even know had a name. So she easily makes this list, and we're talking about Torrin Farr, the map lady from Empire Strikes Back. So let me give you a little background on Torrin. She's a rebel officer who famously said, "Stand by, eye in control. Fire!" in Empire, and that's about all she did. She had one job and nailed it. But outside of people like Nick and I, no one are even going to be able to tell you if Torrin Farr was in a Star Wars movie. In fact, I think they'd say, was she a Jedi? So, Nick, did you even know that her name was Torrin Farr? Let's start with that, because I did not.
So this was one definitely that I did not know the name of the character when I first saw it. And then when I looked it up, I was like, okay, so this is the Echo base. Yeah, like, essentially the person that's running the evacuation at Echo Base.
Because didn't one of our dumbasses when we were breaking down Andor say, hey, Clea Marquis would almost work for that role.
Yeah, like fit well within that role.
It's not. It's Torrin Farr, a Jedi-ish type of name, but no, she's just the standby eye in control.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, I mean, I knew of the person as soon as I saw the line "stand by." I was like, okay, I know who it is. But yeah, I mean, obviously a very instrumental character to the survival of everybody who was on Echo Base and got off. Like without this woman leading the evacuation and calling the ion control cannons out and disabling those the Imperial ships in orbit, everybody that was on
big cheer, big time cheer,
killed.
They're like, yeah, first transport away, woo! That's all because of Torrin Farr calling out the ion cannon. So listen, I've always loved Torrin, and now that I know her name, I feel like we could be friends. But she still is highly forgettable to casual fans. All right, up next on our list of forgettable Star Wars characters of the pre-Disney era, we have someone that, might just know him as the crying Rancor guy, but we're talking about Malakili here, all right? His big moment is sobbing over a monster that eats people, tried to kill our boy Luke Skywalker, and that's really it. I know he's strangely iconic because of his look. He even got a figure back in the day, and he is definitely meme-worthy, but in terms of character depth or any sort of development, he's the emotional support that none of us fans really asked for. So
I know, right, dude?
What do you think about Malakili? I mean, as a kid, I kind of felt bad for him, but I'm also like, dude, you're an asshole. Like, your pet is trying to kill my man Luke, so...
Yeah, I know. It's like, you want to feel bad for Malakili, because clearly it seemed like, this guy is just trying to take care of this Rancor. Like, he has an emotional bond with this Rancor. And then when Luke takes him out, like that may be the only time. Is that the only time that you see a character cry in the entire original trilogy? I think it is.
Yeah, and it's like a straight man sob.
Yeah, I mean, like, this dude is broken to pieces. And my headcanon for Malakili is like, he is there as like, the carer of this Rancor, and he would prefer that Jabba not do what he does to this Rancor. And he's just like, I just have to do this. Like, he's trapped there. I can't get him out. And then when he gets taken out, he's just like, all of my work, all of my care and love and for this creature is gone now. I feel for Malakili.
I do too. I mean, I hated putting him on this list, but just like Torn Far, unless you're someone like you and me, you probably don't even know this guy's name. You're probably just like, hey, who's the fat guy crying at the end of Return of the Jedi? And the answer, brazen. You got to remember, back in the day when Kenner had the license and they were making figures, these were not highly detailed. They had 4 points of articulation, maybe 5. You could move the shoulders, you could move the hips, and you could turn the head around. That's about it. So these were easily mass-produced. Yes, they spit out pretty much any character that was on screen in the original trilogy has an action figure from the Kenner line from the 70s and early 80s. And I have most of them in the vault. Got to sell those one day, you know? Can't be working till 65, Nick. Got to retire. All right, we're having fun. We're going through here. If you're just tuning in, we are breaking down some of the more forgettable characters from the pre-Disney era of Star Wars. Up next, and this is another one. I was like, you know, as a fan of the OOT, as Nick calls it, the OOT, and Lapty Neck, and the puppet version of our next forgettable character, it was hard for me to put her on here. But what's been done to her in the special edition, she now deserves a spot on this list. And I'm talking about Cy Snoodles, that sexy ass lead singer of the Max Rebo band from Jabba's Palace. You know, she had that kick-ass Lapty Neck when she was still a puppet. And that's when I think she was a memorable character. But with the special editions being turned into CGI and having to share the stage with some dickhead that we're going to talk about next, she definitely becomes forgettable. Like she just kind of fades into the background. You're more paying attention to Boba Fett flirting badly with that character and the other dumb shit George added in the special edition. So as much as it pains me, Nick, to put Cy on this list, because I have always loved her, I do agree the special edition has relegated her to forgettable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that entire kind of CGI'd band segment definitely didn't land the way that George maybe wanted it to initially. But you know, I think that she's rightfully forgotten in this form, as you mentioned.
I even, like, to be honest with it, like even when I still loved her, I would screw up her name almost all the time. The car like Sly or, you know, Snoodles. Yeah, but it's Cy Snoodles. And it's just like this leads us right into our next character. It's perfect setup here. We are professionals at our segues. But I know we talked about this last week, and if you want to check it out, if you haven't seen it, last week we did George Lucas's 15 biggest mistakes, and one of them on there was a lot of the changes in the special editions, and we did go off on kind of the Jabba's Palace stuff. But Jedi Rocks, the song that replaced Lapty Neck, is probably just as bad, if not worse, than Victory Celebration that replaced Yub Nub. All right, so as I said, the next character is tied to Cy and George's CGI changes to Return of the Jedi. I literally hate this guy's guts. I think he almost completely destroys the Jabba Palace scenes for me these days. And I'm talking about this ass, this loudmouth, who brand new, wasn't there in the first version of Return of the Jedi like Cy was. But this John Yowza pops out, all right? This CGI-fueled Yuzzum, who belts out vocals in the Max Rebo band's infamous, if not shitty, special edition scenes from Return of the Jedi. You know, listen, Lapty Neck might have been a little cheesy, but it had some charm to it. Jedi Rocks, on the other hand, shoved this John Yowza right into our faces, and it felt like a Saturday morning cartoon crash landing right there in the palace. All right, he's goofy, he's over animated, and his voice out. Not that. Oh, eat that. Oh, eat that. I mean, it's like, God, dude, what a terrible and highly forgettable character. He has no character, in fact. He has no backstory, even in the canon. He was just created to count off the band and ruin another scene in Return of the Jedi. So, screw him.
Yeah, Joe Yowza is one of those things where it's like, I don't understand the purpose of it.
Help!
Like, he didn't need that character at all. Like you could have just like, if I understand wanting to like update size noodles and like make her a little bit more prominent in the thing, but
Sure.
I just don't know why you wanted to add, like he wanted to add that character, and it just felt like so out of
I hate
place.
it, man.
Like it's so
No,
weird.
no.
So weird.
OEA. Yanny nah. I mean, it is so bad it's stuck in my head. That also shows you how big of a fucking Star Wars geek I am. All right, even the stuff I want to forget, I can't forget. Okay. All right, here we go. Hey, the Star Wars Time Show is rarely pre-recorded. We fly live by the seat of our pants, and it has cost us dearly over the years. All right, up next, breaking down forgettable characters from the pre-Disney era Star Wars. We just talked about John and Sai. Sai, used to love her, now I forget her. John always hated this dude. He is an abomination. But we're going to move into the prequel trilogy, all right? There are some characters there that we have forgotten or want to forget. I think that might be better framing. So let's kick off with the good old Jedi Master, the long neck one. Honestly, the shot we have up now, you would think this was a living sperm, because that's kind of what Yarael's head looked like. Let me give you a bio, because people might forget him, but he is that long-necked and long-forgotten Yarael Poof was a Jedi Council member in TPM. His weird appearance made him meme-worthy, but his presence in the film was a blink and you'll miss it type of affair. He got more screen time on Robot Chicken than in the actual saga.
I'm pretty sure that this screenshot that we have of him is from Robot Chicken, because it's so hard to find a really good one from the movie.
You're right, because I wanted to use him for our question of the week thumbnail, Nick, and even the StarWars.com databank shot is basically blurred out. It's blurred out,
dude. I try, because like most of these characters, I tried to use the screenshots that are directly from Star Wars databank. Like, but this one, I was like, what the, like, I got to find something to this guy, but it's so like the character design, and this just kind of fit what George was doing at the time for Jedi in the prequel era. Like, you had Ithorian Jedi, like, and then this is like the opposite of an Ithorian Jedi. An Ithorian Jedi has like a really super wide, flat, almost like curvy face. This guy just has a super thin, round, like you said, almost like looks like a
freaking sperm, man. He's a sperm on a body. Like, his head is a sperm. I'm sorry. Like, I hate to be, childish.
Bango's asking who the fuck came up with that name. Almost assuredly, George did.
Yes.
Like, without a doubt. If you see some of these names and you're like, who came up with that shit? It was George, for sure. Like, he comes up with some weird ass names for everything that he puts his hands on. It just always happens.
I like this handle in here. Your mom is in my bed.
Nice.
Yeah, giraffe neck. There you go, your mom. Yeah, so Yarael, I mean, again, unless you really sat there and studied that Jedi Council and TPM, you more than likely missed him. He is kind of hard to miss because of that goofy head, but there's a lot of goofy shaped Jedi in that, and a lot of them also just kind of disappear. Like they disappear from TPM to Attack of the Clones. I mean, you had the little short guy, that was his name, like Evazin or something like that. I mean, he's gone. So yeah, Yarael, you're the first of the prequel trilogy characters to be forgotten. Okay,
easily forgotten as well.
All right. Up next, again, we're in the prequel trilogy era of pre-Disney Star Wars. And we got, again, a guy that was kind of a major character, but I definitely contend is highly forgettable in Chancellor Valorum. I mean, he was played by the legendary Terrence Stamp, a.k.a. Kneel Before Zod. But Valorum somehow manages to be less memorable than your average Senate chair. I mean, his swift political downfall in TPM is more plot device than character arc, making him the galactic equivalent of a placeholder president. I don't think we could have summarized that more aptly. I mean, he's, again, Terrence Stamp, anyone from my generation, if you grew up watching Christopher Reeve's Star Wars, you instantly, when you saw this guy show up in TPM, you're like, oh man, it's General Zod, and he was the damn Supreme Chancellor. But he is just kind of a forgotten character in the end, thanks to Palpatine's plan.
Yeah, I almost feel like they could have used Valorum a little bit better,
Yeah.
especially since like he went out like yes, there was a vote of no confidence and everything like that, but he went out with essentially no fight. Like
No.
it would have been better or it would have made sense to me if he would have given some sort of like exit speech like all right,
Yes.
like you have spoken, I'm going to go out, I'm going out, but like almost like leave like foreshadowing what is to come like
Well,
this
yeah, he could have
something
been
like
like,
that.
I see you have nominated Palpatine and Schmecky. Let me give you my thoughts on these guys. And you might have heard from him, like, yo, I know Palpatine, everyone likes him, but you got to be careful of
You
that
know,
guy. I like what
it's
you're
like look
saying.
at yeah, just something like look at where the allegiances lie
Yes.
or how did, like what was his path to power? It's not something like you didn't it doesn't even have to be like directly talking at Palpatine, but just saying you know, like a speech similar to what Gandalf did in or not Gandalf, what Dumbledore did in Harry Potter, where he's like, dark times are ahead, and just
Yeah.
be like, there will
I like
be
that.
hard times ahead, regardless of whether I'm here or not. Like, I think that they could have
Yeah,
benefited
we
from
didn't need
something
to
like
see
that.
like the whole vote, but after he got voted out, a little concession speech, maybe a
Yeah.
minute or so would have been a nice
But
check-in.
he literally just looks like that face, and then boom, he's gone. Like
But
we
no,
never see him
we
again.
had to go to Jar Jar going, "We coming
Yeah.
home." All right, so sorry, Chancellor. We will always remember you as General Zod, but not as Supreme Chancellor Valorum. The next character on our most forgettable Star Wars characters from pre-Disney era is Sabe. I mean, she's played by a Hollywood heavyweight, but outside
Indeed.
of a recent comic book run, I mean, listen, this character played by Keira Knightley, but really no one knows that Keira Knightley played her, so that's checkpoint number one for being forgettable. And while Sabe was Queen Amidala's body double in TPM, a major part of her security system, and then she just is gone. Like Sabe is gone. She's not in AOTC anymore. Some other girl, one of her other doubles gets taken out. And if it weren't for Darth Vader in the comics giving this character a second chance, she's pretty much completely forgotten. So the fact that she's played by a big star, barely used in TPM outside of, playing body double for Padme, and then just completely wiped away from the prequel trilogy. So yeah, I'd say Sabe definitely earns her spot on this list.
Yeah, this is another one where I'm like,
least attractive Keira Knightley I've ever looked. Hey, I mean,
my thought on this is like, obviously hindsight's 2020, and that Keira Knightley turns out to be one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, especially around the mid 2000s.
She was nobody at this time.
Yeah, but if you look back, you're like, man, you know what? I should have really played off of that more. And even without her being a big star, when you establish that your character Padme Amidala has a body double that is both usable and what we come to learn in the comics, like very like can take care of herself as well, like is no slouch.
Oh, she's a badass in the comics, dude. I mean, she takes on Vader and becomes kind of like his second in command for some shady shit. So she was really. That's the crazy thing with the Handmaidens, Nick. They become major players in the rebellion movement on Naboo. They're literally called, I forget what they call them. They're called like the Naboo. It's they have like an official name for their resistance, but the Handmaidens are kind of like at the top of that. So
yeah,
but from the movies, she's erased.
Yeah, she has this one scene and then is gone. But I feel like there was an avenue where like Sabe could have been involved in every one of the prequel trilogy movies easily.
Yeah, because she was the main double for Padme.
Yeah,
so like clearly, I know she had many handmaidens, but Sabe was the one, like the one that could literally be her when called upon, and you just never saw her again. So yeah, I think she definitely earns her spot on the list. And just like this next character, it's without the comics and without being a complete dork like myself and Nick, you wouldn't even know her name when you saw her on screen. All right, so let's see who I'm talking about. I am talking about none other than the Ice Queen, the bald Ice Queen, Sly Moore. All right, she's the ghostly pale advisor that is lurking near Palpatine in the prequels, but her actual screen time is just background ambiance. She doesn't say a damn word. All right, despite, again, getting a second life in this comic book run that had Sabe in it. In fact, Sabe and Sly are kind of cross paths in this comic book run. No one would know anything about her. I mean, it's actually revealed in the comics, Nick, that she is a Force sensitive, and Palpatine knows that, and he exploits it and messes with her over it. But for the most part, if you've just watched the prequels and you see her, she's no different than a decoration hanging on the wall, and people are probably just going to say, hey, that's that creepy bald woman that hangs out with our boy Sheev. So,
yeah.
Sly, I do think you have earned your spot as a forgettable character.
Yeah, and I think now, like, there's, I don't think it's ever been like canonized or anything, but the rumors or like the fan theories out there were that Sly and Palpatine were hooking up, that they were lovers.
No, he busts her balls just like he did to Vader, like, because he knew she had the Force, and he would exclusively mess with her over that type of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's another one where, like, even if this character, I feel like could have had a really good place in the Clone Wars animated series. Like, you're already in that time period.
Yeah.
You're already like, she's already established through the prequels. Like, she's, like you said, yeah, she's not even seen. You don't even see her. I don't think. And like, maybe there's one Senate chamber scene where you see her, but
they give Masamita time. Like, he's allowed to talk in both the movies and the Clone Wars. I mean, hell, Masamita, it made it all the way to Andor. I mean, he was clearly Palpatine's top-tier advisor, not Sly. Palpatine forgot her. We're going to forget her, too. All right.
Dang.
Sorry, Sly. You're looking good with that. I mean, she's like Mr. Freeze, but not in the fish tank. You know what I mean? All right, our next character. And listen, I don't like any of the captains that Padme hangs out with. And I think Panaka probably should have made this list, but Panaka's memorable because he's like a dickweed. Like, I never liked Panaka from TPM. So we're talking about his replacement, Captain Typho. So he replaces Panaka as Padme's security chief, and still he ends up having even less personality. All right, he's got a fake eye to make him stand out. He's got a blaster, and he didn't do much of anything in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Hell, I mean, he's barely even spotted in Revenge of the Sith. So I mean, even Yoda in the 2D Clone Wars kind of discounted this character. So we'll always take Yoda's lead. We're going to forget Typho as well. What do you think, Nick? Who was the more forgettable captain, the Typho or the Panaka?
I mean, I think Typho for sure, because at least Panaka like was a part of leading the retaking of the Naboo castle during TPM. Like, the dude's out there, he's on the battlefield, he's fighting. He leads a successful raid and retake of the castle. He gets the cool rappelling scene where he gets to shoot his gun up and then come up the side of the building. So I think there's some good stuff with Panaka. But yeah, honestly, like, Typho was just like completely one note and then completely forgettable. Like, literally didn't do anything.
Always he's like, oh shit, Padme, I should have saw that they're trying to blow us up. My bad. Are you okay? We killed another one of your decoys. And that's pretty much who he is. He's just like, oh, missed that one, even though I'm head of security. Missed it. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Messed that one up.
See ya, Typho. You are out of here. No one likes you. Although he looks like Maori, right? Yeah, I wonder if he
does look like, if you were, he could have got the casting for Boba Fett or for Jango Fett. Like,
I know what you're talking about, but like he even though Tamara was young too when they shot this movie, him and Tamara look very damn close to each other. And Typho kind of looks like the the somewhat grown clones on Camino. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit, for sure.
All right.
So yeah, he just got the shitty end of the casting. They're like, we have two roles here for New Zealand Maori actors. One of them Captain Typho, one of them Jango Fett, and then he just got the short end of the draw.
You know what? Honestly, dude, I think he probably lost out on Boba because he's too big. Like, probably too tall and too thick, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
we love our Mandalorians, but it's not like Boba Fett, especially Jeremy Bullock. Boba Fett was never some hulking, beefy looking character. So, all right, see you, Captain Typho. You have been forgotten. All right, another Attack of the Clones debut character. In fact, I think Boba's vet mentioned her earlier.
Yeah.
But she is forgettable. We're talking about the shape-shifting Clawdite assassin from Attack of the Clones. That's right, Zam Wesell. All right, she had one of the coolest alien abilities in Star Wars, but then she gets taken out by a dart before we ever learned anything else about her or her species. She and her kind, a very cool concept, could have done some interesting things, but overall the character of Zam Wesell and her shape-shifting Clawdite powers are a wasted opportunity. So, yeah, forgettable.
Yeah.
Zam.
Yeah, I mean, more than the character of Zam, which, fun fact, my friend named his cat Zam after Zam Wesell just because he thought the name was funny at the time when
nice. Dig it.
The movies came out. So he had a cat named Zam. But also the bigger miss here is, like you were saying, the Clawdite species. Like, why have we never explored that any for? Why have no other species relatives shown up in Star Wars again? Shapeshifters are cool as fuck, and that you can play around with a lot of different stuff with that type of character. It's just very weird. It's never been re-explored in Star Wars.
Here's the other big why in a plot hole of that whole chase scene. Why, when she made it into the bar, did she not shapeshift into something else and take off her
just
clothes?
Change her appearance. Like, I don't know how it works.
I don't know, Zam.
Like,
I mean, if you're being chased by Jedi and you had a little bit of a lead on them and kind of got mixed up into the crowd, why would you be like, no, I'm going to try to sneak up on a Jedi with a blaster, instead of just be like, I'm going to save my ass and completely change into something that they're not even going to recognize. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? George is the maker. I've been told the prequels are the greatest films of all time with zero plot holes, and they are executed perfectly. But I don't know. I think I just punched some holes in that one, Zam. Anyways, you were forgotten. Goodbye, sir. Or it. Whatever that is. Or Clawdite, would they be considered its because...
I guess, yeah. I mean, because they I don't know if they're gender.
Are they like hermaphrodites? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Clawdites are sentient reptilian species whose members could change shape to a person and a humanoid.
Well,
so they're
a lot of reptiles are hermaphrodites, so probably.
Yeah, they're hermaphroditic, so that you could change your sex from one to another. But maybe, yeah, maybe they were like that.
Zam was the first trans hero of Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, technically, you would be correct. All right. Moving right along. Again, if you're just tuned in here, we are breaking down, or at least telling you, who the most forgettable characters are from Star Wars pre-Disney. So these would be Lucas creations. The next one, listen, it's hard to forget her, but when you really think about how she's used on screen, she's definitely in this forgettable category. You know, people like myself, a Mando pirate, we kind of derive some sexual pleasure from people like this character, at least these aliens and the way they look and those things that hang off their head. But when you think about it, as cool as iconic as looking as she is, Shaak-Ti is a forgettable character. So much so that George forgot about her multiple times and who really was supposed to kill her. He's had Grievous kill her. He's had Anakin kill her. He's had her get kidnapped. I mean, all over the place. But what we got in canon, what actually made it to screen, really does not clear anything up about Shaak-Ti. So like I said, she has died in multiple deleted scenes and video games, but never in a mainline film. So despite being this master that, you know, very iconic looking, she's just like Ahsoka, and she's in AOTC, she's in Revenge of the Sith, but she's constantly sidelined, which makes her very unforgettable for how forgettable she truly is. And it really is.
Yeah,
like, it's the whole, like, hey, George, it just decide on the fate and let's mainline it. But he's like, nah, I'm gonna leave it in deleted scenes, and who cares?
Yeah. Like, so, I mean,
Shaak-Ti.
this image that we're looking at her is the deleted scene from ROTS where she gets killed on Grievous's capital ship. Like, I don't understand why this didn't make it. It wasn't like a super long scene, and it also gives more motivation to both Anakin and Obi-Wan to hunt down and kill General Grievous, because you just saw this dude kill one of your your close confidants, one of your fellow Jedi master, right in front of you. Like, it's pretty wild that he never just put one to publish and say like, hey, this is how Shakti goes out. Again, like you said too, iconic look. One of the first Togrutas that we ever get to see, I believe, or it may be the first Togruta that we ever get to see
remember,
in live action.
Yeah, Ahsoka did not show up in live action period until Rosario Dawson. So I mean, like decades later. So you are
and then
correct.
Even like animated, we didn't see a Togruta until Ahsoka in the Clone Wars animated film in 2008. All right. Crazy.
I had to look this up just to make sure we are not being made fun of, but I am going to display the Irish curse saying the womb broom on these men. Goddamn. Nick, take it as a compliment. I looked it up. Womb broom means a name for a long penis. So I'll take it. Or a man's mustache. So either one. I'll take either one. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Irish curse. All right. Next character that we have deemed highly forgettable from the pre-Disney era of Star Wars is, oh no, not this guy. Not this guy. Well, who is this guy, you might be asking if you're not on a live stream? Well, we're talking about Kitster Chachani Banai, Anakin Skywalker's best friend on Tatooine, who cheers him on during the pod race in TPM. But then you never see him again. He's barely named, totally forgotten, except by a small group of obsessed fans, fanboys, and fangirls that always like to get down with the now this is pod racing energy. Just like Sabe and Sly Moore, though, he shows up again in a Vader comic run down the line where he runs into his buddy wearing black armor, and he does become a bit more memorable. But Nick, as he's presented, Kitster, you had the little Rhodian guy, I forget what his name is, but again, look at that. Forgettable. Yeah. So we got the Kitster here.
Why not bring Kitster back when Anakin shows up on Tatooine and on AOTC? Yeah, something like, he runs into Watto in Tatooine or on Tatooine in AOTC. Why not run into Kitster and he'd be like, "Oh gosh, Anakin, you're a Jedi now?" Like, there could have been some interesting.
You're right. I mean, that would have been a nice callback to see Kitster and the Rhodian pal still slumming around on where are they, Mos Espa. But no, he disappears, and then he ends up losing all his hair and becoming a part of, I believe, the Naboo resistance movement. Or from what I remember, him and Anakin have a reunion, but Anakin's now Darth Vader, and Darth Vader knows Kitster, but Kitster does not know that he is Anakin, and he kind of treats him like shit. So there you go, Kitster. You are forgotten, but we do speak your name. You do have some classic lines and scenes that people love to quote. All right, our next forgettable character here on this list of most forgettable Star Wars characters in the pre-Disney era, so the Makers era. Bango's not here. He would probably argue that there's no way this character is forgettable. But honestly, unless you really dove into the Clone Wars and you're hardcore, not many people are going to know who Commander Fox is. They might be like, they might know Cody, they might know Rex, but a lot of people, even some diehards, if you say, "Hey, Commander Fox," be like, "Who? Commander who?" Well, this is the guy that was supposed to be leading the Coruscant Guard. He was in the Red as a clone. But really, he's most famous for stunning Fives and ultimately leading to Fives being taken out during the Clone Wars series. I mean, it didn't even feel like other clones like this guy. He lacked personality as a named clone, and he definitely made horrible decisions because he was a good soldier following orders. But like I said, unless you really kind of tuned into the Clone Wars and you're a hardcore clone bro or clone gal, you probably don't even know who Fox is, right, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, this was one where I remember the scene that we are showing here on the screen.
Who Fox is, so a win.
Yeah, like I remember this scene, but other than that, like even having watched all of the Clone Wars, like he is probably the most forgettable of the named clone characters.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would say so.
He's definitely, easily. And maybe I should write this down right now. Hold on. Show note. Show note. Where's my? Here we go. Show topics for rainy day. Nick, most hated characters and most loved. Look at that. We might have 4 more episodes out of those 2 stupid topics. Bango.
Going.
Bingo. Stop stalking D's. They're definitely not a fan of Fox either. Right. See, who gives a fox about him? I couldn't have said it better myself. Stop stalking D's. Okay. I like this. We're flying through this. We're going to get Nick to his Bible study with plenty of time. He'll be able to even eat dinner before he has to go learn how to be a godfather. Just don't be like, Tony Soprano. Okay, Nick? I think that's what they're going to tell you. Don't be like Tony. Or don't be like the Corleones. All right. This next one, definitely forgettable, even though he's tied to George directly through an adoption. It's probably even hard to get an image of this character, Nick. I can see by the one you picked.
Yeah,
little grainy here.
Listen,
man, it's one of those scenes from Revenge of the Sith where you're like, oh man, this fucking acting's like, ugh. So who are we talking about? Well, we're talking about George Lucas's adopted son, Jet Lucas, a.k.a. Zet Jukasa. Yeah, they just kind of remade his name into a Jedi name. So Zet Jukasa. So you'd think the Jedi who died defending Bail Organa during Order 66 would be more memorable, especially because, like I said, he was played by Lucas's son. But honestly, Zet Jukasa's name is known only to people like Nick and I, and most people just remember, hey, that Jedi kid who got shot and it looked really bad. So good old Zet, a.k.a. Jet, a son of Lucas. Who knows what he's doing now? I'm guessing his dad helped him out. But his Jedi character is forgettable.
Yeah, I mean, he has that, like you said, the one scene that you know from him where he jumps in front of the guards to allow Bail Organa to escape. And then that was about it. He gets gunned down, and that's it. What is he doing now? He was a visual effects coordinator on Book of Boba Fett and a visual effects production assistant on The Mandalorian. I wonder how he.
Who gave him a reference for those jobs. Huh?
Yeah. So it looks like he's trying to make his way. Or I don't know what he's doing now because that was 2021 Book of Boba Fett, 2019 8-episode visual effects production assistant for Mandalorian season 1. So
his dad was like, "Hey man, can you go like just do some shit, and then I promise you can go back to your trust fund after." So I think that's where we're at. and listen, we're just playing around here because Amanda Lucas also is now heavily involved at Lucasfilm, and I think gets writing credits, in fact, on some of the new animated stuff. So, hey. Nepotism is a real thing. It happens everywhere. I would do the same thing if I had a kid and they showed interest. Let's be real. I mean, anyone that makes fun of nepotism and they act like they would not do the same thing, you're on drugs. All right. Yeah, Bango, you are killing it in the chat. I just can't share some of them on the live stream. So, that's another reason to join the live stream chat. You never know what's going to be flying in there. But I also like this one from Stop, Stock, and D's. The faster and more intense was the direction given to Jet Lucas. And yeah, that pretty much how it looked. So good call there, SSD. I like that. Okay, Nick, I think we're about to wrap up our list here. We got one more character from the pre-Disney era. And I do think some people are going to give us gruff. But again, as this character was presented in the mainline movies, just like, oh, there she is, literally gets a whole frame of a scene dedicated to her, and then nothing is ever said again about this character. She's never seen again in live action, and we really don't know her true fate because some people think she died in the Clone Wars. Other people will go to what Beckett said in Solo, saying he took her out. So who are we talking about? Have you guessed it yet? It's none other than the lovely, pure white lady in orange, Aurra Sing. And like I said, Nick, she gets that spotlight in TPM during the Boonta Eve race. She's standing on a balcony watching it. It was clear that George wanted people to go, oh, who's that? And then literally never see her again. Ever.
Never see her again.
And I would have liked to because I again, this alien build is right up my alley. Long, skinny fingers, a girl with a shaved head and a ponytail. and I have to say, kind of that apple bottom that men tend to get into. So, yeah. But yeah, Aura, I mean, she definitely had more life in the Clone Wars animated series, but even there, her fate kind of gets changed through the Solo movie. So a lot of people forgot about her.
You know what's wild too? Well, thank you first off to Shroom for subscribing, becoming a member of the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the sub. But what's wild is when the prequel trilogy came out, like Aura Singh was a character that they would like put out for people to take pictures with in Disney World. Like I remember seeing Aura Singh like standing there, people in line waiting to take pictures with her by the Star Wars ride in at that time it was still MGM, but now it's Hollywood Studios. Like, so it was a character for some reason. Oh my God. Like it's a character that for some reason, like obviously has like a physical pop to him. People remembered her even
though she has an action figure, bro.
This one scene from TPM. Like, but yeah, I mean, where she started to come back up was Clone Wars series, and like she kind of took young Boba under her wing for a little bit, trained him, dearest. and that was it. Like it was pretty wild how they like clearly Lucas had an idea whether she was going to be like an assassin hunting the Jedi that were there at Boonta Eve, or it was somebody that was like maybe trying to keep an eye on Anakin Skywalker for a more nefarious group, but completely like you said, gets this key shot and then never seen again. Very fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, I just replied to Stock and D's. I mean, I know she's at least in one arc in the Clone Wars with young Boba. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's kind of his guardian. Yeah. I mean, Boba still pretends he's running the crew, but her and I think Bosk, they're the ones kind of overseeing little Boba for Jango. So there you go. Again, this is just part one. We'll be back next week. We're not done yet. Don't forget, if you're new here, we still have our final fan segment to close out this episode. But in terms of our breaking down of the most forgettable characters from the pre-Disney era, we have made it to the end. We'll be bringing you part 2 next week, which will be the Disney era. So we'll have even more characters that are forgettable from the stuff that Disney has been working on since George sold them the franchise for a cool $4 billion. All right, but like I said, we are not done yet. As always, we close out every episode of the Star Wars Time Show with a segment dedicated to our fans. There's 2 ways to get involved. We have the question of the week responses, so we'll put out a prompt, typically on Wednesdays, a few hours before the show. You just got to be checking us out. Have your notifications on for our content on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Discord. This starts to happen towards the end. I suck in a lot of hot air here, my friends. So get involved. We'll put out the prompt. You have to reply to it. We'll put you up there during the fan segment if we get the feedback. All right, let me go ahead and switch some screens around. We'll do one of these and then one of those. Okay. All right, looking good so far. Nick, let's go ahead and kick off question of the week responses. And this week's question is who is your most forgettable character from the prequel and original trilogy eras? Go.
All right. First up, we have, I think, Bango. Yeah. Yep. Bango right here from the prequels. Damn near everyone who wasn't also in the OT. For the OT, I remember them all because I'm a real one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Bango, top guy. You didn't know who Torrin Farr was, you son of a bitch. All right, next.
All right. Next up, we got 2797 Studios. Mr. Bat says, I forgot. An appropriate response. There we go. Mando Mugshot says, if I named one, he is obviously not very forgettable. Even the background characters in both trilogies were interesting. They were so well designed and have such rich background stories brought to life through comics and novels. Such contrast to the boring beige aliens from the sequels and Andor. Too many to name. Oh, wait, I can't even tell you their names as I've forgotten. So he, again, thinks that everybody in both the OT and the prequel trilogy are unforgettable. Cannot forget them.
So Mando has a Torrin Farr tattoo, actually. I know this.
He's got one right on his left butt
Insider
cheek.
Information.
Next up, League of Extraordinary Sixers. She says the Jedi that got 2 seconds of
There we
screen time
go.
during Order 66.
League, you nailed it. Because I'm guessing League, was it Zed Jukasa you were thinking of?
It might have been.
Oh shit.
Mando Pirate says prequels Ben Quadraneros. Honestly, that was a good one. Ben Quadraneros is one of the
dude.
the racer who has
really a lot of the pod
troubles.
A lot of the pod racers could have made this list because they all get announced, but you don't really remember any of them but Sabalba.
Yeah, and then he says the OT Bosk. Yeah, I mean Bosk is one that we've come to know now thanks to Clone Wars and extra content. But Bosk was the coolest looking, in my opinion, the coolest looking of the bounty hunters on the bridge during the ESB scene. But obviously got absolutely no screen time after that. So, and then Big Dizzle Niz. So this is B Matt. He says the dude from Andor season 1 that was snitching on Cassian because he was jealous.
It's Tim with 2 M's, bro. How could you forget that?
Tim with 2 M's. That's right. Dude is so forgettable. I can't remember his name. Tim with 2 M's.
I hate that guy.
Michael Kramer, Mac122198 says Dexter Jetster. So that's the diner,
Obi-Wan
owner. Yep. He's got 4 arms. He's pulling up his pants with one hand while he's hugging Obi.
He's actually scratching his ass, and he's a freaking chef. So that's disgusting.
Good point.
Hold on. And then time out, young Nick. We got Bango coming in. He's wanting. I know we've kind of gotten away from the leaderboard throughout the cast. I was going to mention it going in the fan segment, but because I have holes in my brain, I forgot. But Bango is just making a play to retake the top spot by saying, I don't know her name, but the endowed Twi'lek who gets smoked and rots is unforgettable because of her great character development. Yes, Isla Secura, you nailed it. But let's check the leaderboards real quick. Remember, people, YouTube now has leaderboards for live stream chats. You get XP for chatting and for super chats. Right now in our horizontal feed, the breakout is Bango retaking the top spot, then Based and Brazen, then League coming in 3rd place. In our vertical stream, which has a lot more activity, at least people watching right now, but only a few chatting, our top fans are number 1 is Genko, Red Dog, and then James W coming in at 3. So as always, thanks for playing in the chat. If you like gamification, YouTube has brought it to you. Get that XP. I like Jedediah Harper. Star Wars is cool. The best one was Deep Space Nine, but you rarely see people mention it. I totally agree.
It's very true.
Totally agree.
Very true.
All right. And did we get Phil's comment, Nick?
No. So we still have Phil's or Divided Skywalker says, I forgot.
Sorry.
So Divided, thank you so much. And then Phil says they're forgettable. How am I supposed to remember them to answer your question? Very good point.
So next week, for the regulars, I do appreciate you always playing with us, because without you all, we would not have these other segments, because listen, we get buried by algorithms. It doesn't matter how many of you tell me, how many of my friends that don't like Star Wars tell me that what we do is sometimes entertaining and considered good content. The machines have decided once and for all that we suck. So, likes, subscribes, shares, tell friends, keep it going. All right, we'd love for more interaction outside of our diehards, but don't take that personally, diehards. You are why we exist. You're why this live stream keeps going. All right, so Nick, we're going to move into the final part of the fan segment, which is something you curate meticulously throughout the week over on Instagram at StarWarsTime.show. Use hashtag Star Wars Time Show. But more importantly, if you want consideration for the top 5 Star Wars fan artist feature segment, you have to use ad tag at StarWarsTime.show. And I don't know what our announcer was on this week when he cut the promo, but we may have to fire him because I think he was drinking on the job, because the way he talks about the top 5 is very, very inaudible. Okay, check it out. Okay, Nick, so let's go ahead. Let's check out your selections for the top 5 this week. Let me get some screens flippity flopped. Okay, there's that. There's this. All right, you're
There's
ready to
this
rock
one.
and roll.
Here's this one. All right. So to kick off the top 5 this week, we have Toy vs. Rick, and Toy vs. Rick is giving us a look at so many forgettable characters. Look at this. We got Ayla Secura on there. We got Shak T on there. We got Plo Koon on there. We got Kit Fisto on there. All the forgettable Jedi masters of the prequel
Mullet,
trilogy,
Kenobi,
right?
Luminara. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is the AOTC lineup right here.
It is. This is the battle arena bros.
This is them coming back from the battle arena and doing their social influencing, right? They're taking Yoda's taking the shot right now. All right, come on, Jedi, we gotta post this on TikTok. So he's taking the shot. And he's like, let's go.
I mean, there we go. But hey, I mean, Toy vs. Rick, it's an awesome setup for sure. You got Mace Windu in the front, and then you got the V going towards the back with all of the members of the Jedi Council. And even if they're there by wish of Palpatine, because Anakin's in this shot too. So yeah, it's an awesome prequel Jedi shot here for sure. Good use of lightsaber effects.
Stock and D's is still playing forgettable characters, and they're doing a good job. Klieg Lars would have been a good one. Tion Meaden, a good one. I like it. Poggle the Lesser, not a bad one. I like it.
Poggle,
not bad.
Poggle's
D's, not bad. D's, you're hitting them.
He knows. Poggle, right. Like, I love Poggle when he was flying his little ass around on Geonosis. Yeah.
I like how they talk.
The Geonosian speak is fantastic.
Yeah, it's Swahili, essentially.
Yeah. Good stuff there from Toy vs. Rick on Instagram. Make sure to follow. Next up, we got Rippic Tan. Rippic __ Tan.
Neil.
And he's given us a little Neil. That's right. That's everybody's favorite character from Skeleton Crew is Neil. And Neil is hanging out with some pretty famous people here.
The New Republic, man.
Yeah. You see Leia, you see Harrison Dooley, you see Chopper, you see C-3PO. Neil has made his way into the galaxy, and everybody loves Neil.
He's telling stories, right? The caption. And then it blew up, and I crashed. And that's exactly how Neil would tell the story. I do love this shot because this is something that could happen based on how Skeleton Crew ends. We know Atton is now discovered, at least by the New Republic, and probably everyone else in the galaxy. And Neil definitely would catch the eye of Leia, Hera, for sure Chopper, because he probably wants to murder him. And C-3PO always has to be in the mix if Leia is around. So great setup here from Rippic __ Tan on Instagram.
Good stuff. Next up, we have Utini Toys. Utini _ Toys on Instagram. And they're giving us an awesome shot of a scout trooper on a speeder bike. Reminiscent of what we saw in ROTJ when the scout troopers were zipping along trying to chase down the members of the rebellion before they made their way to the shield array for them to take it down. Good use of water effects too, like the water coming up, the droplets of water caught in frame. Awesome post-processing or post-effects on the gunshot. The posing, everything about this shot from Utini Toys is really, really solid.
Yeah, no, the practical effects are great. I'm guessing they might have used the old drain trick. It's a drain clear. You pump it up, and it can shoot a burst of air very quickly and kick up dust or water. So great cap here by Utini _ Toys on Instagram.
That's right. Next up, we got Black Series Daily Desk. Black Series Daily Desk is giving us a shot of Zeb. Zeb, we rarely get to see Zeb shots. I don't know if like the toys just aren't that good or people don't like shooting Zeb, but this is an awesome looking shot of Zeb in character, beating up some stormtroopers. Posing on the stormtroopers is awesome. Posing on Zed is awesome. Like the Dio that they use. This feels very, very true to Star Wars Rebels, if you've seen the cartoon series. So really enjoying this setup.
Yeah, I mean,
Black Series Daily Desk.
Zeb was their heavy, just like Chewbacca was the heavy for Han, Leia, and Luke. Yeah, I like Zeb, and listen, we know we're gonna get more of them in the Mandalorian Grogu movie because for whatever reason, in the Ahsoka series, with all his other Ghost crew mates, he
just didn't make it.
Wasn't included. It's like, okay,
yeah, he just. Didn't make it.
Yeah,
they didn't have the C.
He's in the fucking New Republic Navy too. It's like,
It's like, guys, what's going on? Dave, did you forget? They didn't have the budget for the CGI.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff here from Black Series Daily Desk. All one word. I'm losing my voice. Go.
That's right. And to close out the top 5 this week, we have Quick Picks Toys. Quick Picks Toys giving us an awesome look at Han and Chewie in front of their baby, the Millennium Falcon. And this honestly looks like a Millennium Falcon shot or a Millennium Falcon rendering that looks like it's based off of how it's placed in Black Spire Outpost.
Yeah, I think it's just concept art for Galaxy's Edge. Is the background.
Galaxy's Edge. So like they use that well. Good posing on Han and Chewie. And man. I mean, just an awesome looking shot of Han and Chewie sitting in front of their baby, the Falcon, while they're just hanging out on Black Spire Outpost, getting some spatchka and some Ronto roast.
I was gonna say some Ronto meat.
That's right, man. Good stuff here from Quick Picks Toys all around.
Do you have your annual pilgrimage to Disney set yet?
So we do not. We don't have a Disney trip set this year.
You skipped last year too, didn't you, or no?
We went early. We went in January last year, so early times to go. But we did make it out, and then this year our trip is we're going to be doing an Alaskan cruise in August. So Alaskan cruise, I will be out 1 week in August for an Alaskan cruise.
Check that out.
But we may be planning a trip to Disney Tokyo next year.
Ooh.
So just trying to see if we can fit that in.
Ooh,
so that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Guy.
We'll see that.
But that's I wonder what the tariffs are doing to the imports of Ronto meat.
Oh, they're through the roof, Bango. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
I heard the admin, they put like a 300% tariff on galaxies far, far away. So you better watch out.
That's right. That's the end of the top 5. That's the end of our show for this week. So Matt, go ahead and close us out.
You got it, buddy. I think we're going to have to add a new thing to our closeout now that we have leaderboards in the chat. So just to put a nail in it or a pin in this week's rankings for our live stream chatters. Remember, this is all managed by YouTube. You get XP for dropping live stream chats and even more XP for super chats. So in our horizontal stream, Bango takes 1, Based and Brazen at 2, League stays at 3. In our vertical stream chat, the one that's you people probably came to through the shorts part of YouTube. Again, we have, I think, Ganko's still at the top, Red Dog, James W. So this is kind of fun. I like it. I doubt we're going to get the crazy response like we did this week. You never know. But if you like to win, you need to chat. If you really like to win, you need to pay our shills. So come on, empty those pockets, people. We need money to keep the lights on here. All right, my friends, as Nick said, it's time to say goodbye. It's always sad. We had a fun Wednesday with you all. This time we at least finished on time, kept the show to a nice smooth 2 hours like we kind of jam to these days. No more 4-hour plus slogs like we used to do during the pandemic to give all of you some entertaining content. It was detrimental to our souls and the show because I think in those 4-hour slogs we used to do, I pretty much chased away our initial audience. So can't ever get that back, my friends. That's why we keep Matt limited in what he says on a live show. But it's always my pleasure to be with young Nick talking Star Wars and, of course, hanging out with you all in the live stream chat. Those of you that kind of stumbled into this trap through shorts, hopefully you want to stick around. So consider subbing to the channel by going down below. Click on that little button. Or if you want to be like Based and Brazen or Bango or some other people in the chat and you want a Vader cat next to your name and special emojis like the Vader trophy I saw Base throw out, consider becoming a channel member for as low as $1.99 a month. You can get access to some cool stuff for the SWTS lives. All right, my friends, it's been real. Next week, we'll be bringing part 2 of our most forgettable Star Wars character series, At Your Faces, and we'll be covering the Disney era. Ooh-ah! Don't forget, there's always time for Star Wars Time. And if you listen to the Star Wars Time show, the Force will be with you. Always.